serious people who performed favors in school or in the workplace to get ahead. What was it for? And what are things like now? In the 90s, I had an affair with the woman who hired me at a startup.com. I was 24. She was late 40s. I had graduated with a degree in philosophy and was running a blog when she hired me as a copywriter/graphic artist, a position that I was not qualified for. She installed me next to her office on the floor below sales, a basically deserted space where we were alone all day. We had coitus at work several times, but mostly kept our activities to her place. She also found me a nearby apartment, arranged for me to live in a motel until it was ready, and involved herself in other aspects of my life. She was not an attractive or pleasant woman, and the nature of our relationship was transactional, at least at first. I also worked my ass off, so I wasn't coasting just because I was ducking her. Anyways, the company went bust just 9 months after I joined. By then, I had been promoted to content development and had the 4th highest position in the company. I was also basically living with this woman who had turned out to be possessive, delusional, and overall nuts. When the company folded, she started talking about us moving to another startup and getting married. At that point, I ended it and went to grad school instead. Worked in a warehouse 10 years ago. I had the most physical job there, constantly slagging around 130 pound plus product by hand, so I was reasonably jacked. After about 4 months there, my job was automated at every other warehouse we owned, but the office manager seemed to like looking at me, and I beat the robots in efficiency and accuracy, so she kept me around. She asked for my help moving some heavy stuff one day in her office at the end of the day, and I didn't think anything of it. Shoulder was really sore that day, and she noticed me favoring it, so when I was done, she told me she used to work as a massage therapist and offered to help my shoulder. Literally thought nothing of it until 3 minutes into the massage. Her hands were no longer on my shoulder, instead, on my junk. She was reasonably attractive, and everyone else had left for the day, so I took advantage of the situation and ducked her brains out. 3 days later, I got a $3 an hour raise. The company was 4 months into a pay freeze. Her justification: I was beating the robots. We fucked a few times a week, and I got an extra few days off a month, paid, because she was concerned about my shoulder. I was accidentally getting ahead for fucking my boss once. I was completely unaware until everything ended, and suddenly I got laid off. I had a female boss that had a crush on me, and I found her really attractive too. I was 20, she was in her early 30s. It was a call center. I did tech support, and she was the manager of our team. We flirted a little bit here and there, nothing really more than I did with the customer service girls. There was only one tech support girl, and she had a girlfriend. Then one day we were doing some team lunch and she asked me to help her go pick up the food. I was just stoked to get out of taking calls. I didn't really notice we left 2 hours before the lunch until later. Hopped in her car, and she said she had to get something at her house before we got the food. We got there, went inside, I said, "What do you need to get here?" And she said laid, and just basically jumped on me. It was great, I really liked her too. I had no clue she had planned this whole thing to get me out of the office and to her house. She literally could have just said, "Hey, we should hang out," and I would have done it. I never asked her out because I thought she was out of my league. After that we hooked up for a while, keeping it quiet because she was my boss, which was fine with me. I was a dorky 20 years old getting laid regularly. Then one day we were tipsy and ducking and she started crying. She's sobbing saying, "Why am I so terrible that the only way I can get a guy is by being his boss and making him duck me?" I was shocked, and I responded with, "I'm not ducking you because you're my boss. You're super awesome and super ducking hot." She was a short girl with hourglass figure, little thick butt in all the right places. "You are not making me do anything. I wanted you for months before any of this started. Only reason I never asked you out was I didn't want to make it awkward at work." She then started listing all the shit she does at work to keep me close and make me like her and make my life better. I found out I was making more than anyone on my team by a decent margin. I got the best desk that other people apparently were jealous of. I didn't care. I was on a few layoff lists, and she made sure to get my name off them. Somebody complained about me to her a lot, because I said that's ducking stupid to them when they said something ducking stupid, and she just trashed the complaints. I told her, stop doing all that stuff. I still like you, and you do not have to do any of that at work. Duck, if I lost my job, I'd find a new one and I'd probably be happy because we wouldn't have to sneak around. The thing is, I think she was attracted to me because of all this stuff she did. I think she felt like she was in control of me, and when she found out I didn't actually care about that stuff or feel like I was in debt to her, she ended it, and next time layoffs happened I was gone. When I was in college I worked in a little family-owned restaurant. The owner's wife was the manager and, well, she came on to me and we started ducking regularly. It was great because I got to call out whenever I wanted, leave early whenever I wanted, got all the good tables, good shifts, free food, unlimited smoke breaks. But all my coworkers hated me. And since she was married, I know I'm a piece of crap. I was young and stupid, and she was attractive. I knew we weren't going to be together, so when I met someone my own age at school and started dating her, she got really crazy, and I ended up getting fired for, I can't even remember now. I was fired for some stupid reason, but it was really because she couldn't bear to see me anymore. If I didn't want her, she would text and call me for months afterwards, and even showed up at my apartment a few times, and also lied saying I got her pregnant. She wasn't. She showed up at my new job and started a huge scene and almost got me fired my first week. So overall, 4/10 wouldn't recommend. Did you remind her that she was married? Yes. They supposedly had a bad marriage. They did fight a lot, and supposedly her husband was bi and was dating dudes, but I never saw evidence of that. She made it seem like they were separated, but they still lived together. But I didn't get that impression. So I told her that I didn't feel right about it, and I wanted to be able to actually be in a relationship, not just hang in my apartment and have to be shady all the time. She seemed to be cool with us calling it off until she found out I was dating someone else, which is when she went insane. I didn't date until after we broke it off too. So it wasn't like I was cheating on her. We broke up and maybe 3 weeks later I started dating someone I had been friends with already.